Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Megan and I'm delighted to be with you. This channel is all about the Immanuel approach, how to become aware in our daily life of the living, tangible, interactive, loving presence of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And I will tell you that this lifestyle and this way of living is so transformative, and there's so much to it. Before I jump into this episode, I wanted to share a little gift with you. This is a rose from my Pope John Paul II rose bush that was a gift from to me from my husband. And it has the most tangy, delicious scent. And it helps me calm my nervous system. So I just wanted to share with you, I've named my rose bush Papa. He's full of blooms right now. So in this episode, what I'm about to share with you is a very simplified explanation of some brain science. And I am not an expert in any way, but I am passionate about it. The practices that I have been talking about throughout this whole time, and by the way, I just did my 20th episode, shout out, woohoo, so excited about that, with Dr. Karl Lehman. But the practices that I have been talking about, gratitude, appreciation, cultivating joy, even quieting, all of those practices are best done in community. You can do them on your own, of course, but they're best done in community. And I wanted to explain the brain science behind why our brains work best in community. Our brains were designed by Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, who are a community of love, delight, joy. Our brains were designed to be in community. Our brains are social. Our right brain is looking for another right brain to connect with. Isn't that so amazing? And it doesn't surprise me because of our wonderful communal Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So of course they would design our brains to look for connection, to desire connection, and to work best in community and in connection. And so there is a phrase in brain science that is called a mutual mind state. And basically a mutual mind state is when your right brain is connected to another right brain and you're really synced up. You're in sync. And you might have experienced this sometimes when you're in a conversation with a friend or your spouse and you're like finishing each other's sentences. That is a mutual mind state. And if you think about babies are coming to the world looking for a bigger brain. This helps them learn what it is to be human. And so babies' brains sync up with a bigger brain or a more mature brain. Usually it's their primary caregiver. And this is how attachment is formed. It's brain to brain, right brain to right brain. And it's usually faster than conscious thought. So when our brains do sync up, like I said, right brain to right brain, it's like we're in sync, we're in a flow. And generally it's positive experiences, hopefully. You're in tune, and this is going to help you foster connection and understanding and secure attachment. You can also sync up with some of the heavier emotions too. We can have this with family, with friends, with small groups, with your mentor, with your spouse, and hopefully you have experienced what that feels like. Why I'm sharing this with you is because one of the most beautiful things about an Immanuel prayer session is that you can enter into a mutual mind state with the biggest and best brain in the universe, the God of this universe, Immanuel. This is what an Immanuel prayer session is all about, is syncing up and getting into a mutual mind state with the God of the universe, because that is how our brains were designed to synchronize with one another. And so we are actually able to synchronize with Jesus. And why is this amazing? It's because we get to learn, just like babies learn from their primary caregiver, from a bigger brain, a more mature brain. We actually get to learn from Jesus how to be a true human, because he is the true human. We get to learn from Jesus how to be our best self. So what that means is, what is it like for me to do when I am my best self? And often we don't live out of our best self. So learning from Jesus, what is it like for me to do? And really learning from Jesus to become more and more like him, because we are in a mutual mind state with him. We are in sync with him. Our thoughts line up with him. Isn't that amazing? And this is actually possible in an Immanuel prayer session. This is actually possible through Immanuel journaling. And so I just have been so excited to share this with you, because the practices that I am promoting and encouraging you in are all communal practices. It will work best when you sync up with someone, when you're sharing that gratitude, when you're amplifying joy together, when you're quieting together. So unfortunately, the West has gone very individual. And I just want to tell you that that is not how the early church operated. All the way back then, the purpose of the early church was very communal, connecting with one another and connecting with the divine presence. And so a lot of the spiritual disciplines that you might have heard about that are trending right now, and they're so good, are communal practices. And so they're part of the reason, and the brain science behind it is because our brains work best in community. So have you ever felt in sync with someone? And what does that feel like, to be so in sync with someone that you can finish each other's sentences? And what would that be like for you to be so in sync with the God of the universe that your thoughts are knitted together, that you are thinking the same thoughts? And if you have a thought, you're like, is that my thought or is that your thought, Jesus? And the answer is yes, it's both. So I encourage you to seek out opportunities to practice gratitude, building joy, quieting and sharing joy in community. It only takes one other person, one other right brain to connect with your right brain. And I also encourage you to try an Immanuel prayer session. See what it feels like to be in a mutual mind state with Immanuel. You can enter this with gratitude and appreciation, and then you just notice Immanuel's response to you, whatever you want to share with him, and notice his response to you. Interaction, which is one of the main tenets of the Immanuel approach, is entering into a mutual mind state. It's that back and forth, two-way conversation. So I encourage you to seek after these things so you can begin to learn, what is it like? What is your best self? Who is your best self? And what is it like to be more and more like Jesus and learning to be a true human? Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful for any comments. So tell me what you thought, what resonated the most with you. And if you're interested in practicing quieting, check out this video here.